Hello, welcome back to Visionary Fragrances. My name's George, thank you for joining me. Today I'm bringing you an Yves Saint Laurent Y buying guide. The Y line by YSL is one of my favourite designer lines. I think they've got something for everybody. I like the way they've gone with each flanker. I find them fresh, invigorating, and they're my favourite blue fragrances in the designer market. So stay tuned and we're going to talk about the different fragrances in the YSL Y line. Stay right there. And guys, just a quick disclaimer before we start. We're going to talk about 4 of the Y line fragrances, but I do not have the original Y. I've tried it a few times, but because I own these ones and these are my I prefer these over the original. I don't own it, so we're not going to mention it, but the original is going to be similar to these, but I would say maybe a more generic basic version, and it was the first iteration of the Y fragrance, and I believe the ones I have expand on that and make it a bit better. So we're going to crack on with these 4 fragrances. The first one we're going to talk about is Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau Fraiche. Now I find this bottle to be absolutely beautiful, and you can get a sense from this bottle of how fresh and invigorating this fragrance is going to be. Now, as the name suggests, this is a fresh version of the original Y, and this one adds lemon and mint to the top notes to give it a real kind of invigorating, zingy freshness. I think this one is perfect to wear to the gym. The YSL Y line are really kind of they're mass pleasing fragrances, so you can wear them anywhere. They're not going to be one that's specific for winter or date nights, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you if you owned all of these when you should wear them, and I would say that the Y Eau Fraiche line fragrance would be best to wear in the gym, but of course you can wear it anywhere. Now, one of the standout notes in the Y line is the note of apple. So if you've smelt fresh fragrances before and blue fragrances before, they're not always fruity. They're always very fresh and invigorating, and they usually have the note of bergamot or a lemon, which this has as well. But what Yves Saint Laurent have done, they add the note of apple to give it a kind of fruity sweetness along with the bergamot and the lemon, and you've also got sage in the background to give it an aromatic touch. So this one, great for the gym, Y Eau Fraiche. This next one was a new pickup for me. I only picked this up a few days ago. This is YSL Y Live or Live. Now this takes the original notes of ginger, bergamot, sage, but they take away the apple and add an orange blossom note in the top notes. Now I'm just going to spray this on a test strip quickly. And you've got ginger in the middle notes as well with bergamot, and you've got the orange blossom note at the top, which adds a lovely fruitiness which goes along with the other notes and creates a really nice invigorating fragrance. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about this one. I've just come back from being in Europe. I was visiting some friends and I went to a New Year's Eve party. We had like a kind of house party as such, and I was wearing this. This was my scent of the night on New Year's Eve. And I had about 5 people or so come up to me and say, "What are you wearing?" They really asked me. They were saying they could smell it in the whole apartment. I don't often get complimented when I'm wearing fragrances. Some people just don't like giving compliments, and it doesn't really happen that often, to be honest with you, unless you're asking for it. But this one, I wasn't asking people. People didn't know I was wearing a fragrance, but they came up to me and asked me what I was wearing, and it was this YSL Y Live. So for this one, I'm going to recommend that you wear this to a party or a night out. It's going to work perfectly. In at number 2, and in my opinion, the best performing blue fragrance that I've tried, and this one is the best value for money, I would say, out of the fragrances that I'm showing you here. It is YSL Y EDP. Now this has top notes of apple, ginger, bergamot, and in the mid you've got the sage, geranium, and in the base notes you've got tonka bean, which is going to give this a really sweet backbone and a vanillic-like quality. Now, when I say this is the best value for money, I say that because this one is the only one that comes in the 200 ml bottle, so you can spend a bit more but get more money more juice for your money, and it's a lower price per milliliter. Also, because this is the best performing fragrance out of the 4 and the best performing blue fragrance that I've tried, you only need a few sprays and it's going to last you all day. Now this one really can be worn anywhere. I would recommend this if you own all of these. This one would be great to formal events, to interviews, or kind of work parties, but really you can wear this anywhere. Everywhere you go, people are going to love this and you're going to get highly complimented. Now, can Yves Saint Laurent do a dark fragrance in the Y line? Well, they've tried when they brought out this Yves Saint Laurent Y Parfum. Now this is of course not dark, it's still going to be fresh and invigorating, but what they've done, they take the EDP and they've amped up the tonka bean in here and they've made it sweeter and toned down the freshness. So it is darker, and as can be seen by the beautiful darker bottle, it is what you get. You're going to get a darker, sweeter version of the original EDP. Performance on this was not as good for me as the EDP, or in fact the Live, which I showed you a moment ago, which was surprising. I thought the Parfum version would be the strongest performing. I would say it lasts a long time on the skin. I think the concentration of this is going to be quite high, but for me it does not beat the Eau de Parfum in terms of the projection and the sort of the value for money that you get with it. But if you're looking for a Y fragrance that is not as blue, not as fresh, then I think that the Y Le Parfum would be a great choice. When would I wear Le Parfum Y? I'm going to choose this as a date night fragrance because it's sweeter, because it sits closer to the skin, and because it's not as zesty and invigorating. This would work great for a date night because it's going to pull the other person closer to you, and it's not your typical kind of blue fragrance. It's different to Dior Sauvage, it's different to Bleu de Chanel, so this also could attract a lot of compliments as well, because not everyone's going to be wearing this and you might stand out for being different. So a date night fragrance in the Y line, Y Le Parfum. Okay, that concludes my buying guide for the YSL Y line. If I could choose one, if I could recommend one to you, which one to buy, I'm always going to go with this one. This is the Eau de Parfum concentration, Y Eau de Parfum. The reason why I'm going to choose this is because it comes in the bigger bottle. You've got the choice to buy it in the 200ml bottle. It's the best performing, and in my opinion, it's the best smelling. So out of all the 4 I showed you, I would go with this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you really enjoyed this list. Please don't forget to subscribe if you got anything out of this this review, and I would love to hear your favourite Y fragrance by Yves Saint Laurent down in the comments. I'll see you in a few days for the next video. Take care.